This video is brought to you by Gemmer.com, a place where you can buy, sell, and trade collectibles of all kinds, uniquely for comic book fans and just lovers of pop culture in general. So go check it out, Gemmer.com, and hopefully we'll see you there.
Hey guys, CJ here, and welcome back to another all-new Hybrid News Now from a new location. You know, it's definitely a work in progress, to say the least, but I've got a few things planned. But in our first comment question of the day, what kind of decorations or posters would you like to see on the wall? I'll be using your best ideas, and they might end up back there. Now down to the news. In our top story, there was supposedly a football game last night, but all I know is that we got some awesome new trailers. Shorter than the usual minute 30 or more, these super expensive Super Bowl spots were limited to just 30 seconds long to cut down on the big budget, but that didn't stop them from creating some memorable sequences. And chiefly among these commercials had to be Captain America Civil War, which proudly kept the cryptic, chanting summer blockbuster tradition alive. But seriously, Civil War's trailer might have been the most memorable, not just for our new looks at Black Panther and the new Ant-Man suit, but also for some great moments like Iron Man activating some kind of watch glove to stop a bullet from Winter Soldier. Next up is probably X-Men Apocalypse, and X-Men Apocalypse hasn't been flying under the radar, but it hasn't been quite making the waves that Civil War has, despite being slated for release just 3 weeks later. Will one Super Bowl spot change all that? Probably not, but this one in particular might go a long way to building some hype for the upcoming flick. The ad is actually jam-packed with action, really highlighting more than the last few trailers that Apocalypse really does want to actually destroy the world so he can rebuild it. With lots of shots of missiles launching, it looks like Apocalypse is kind of taking a page from Sebastian Shaw in First Class and trying to start a nuclear war. And last but not least, I want to talk about Batman v Superman's brilliant little bit of in-universe marketing thanks to a cooperation with Turkish Airlines. The ads featuring Affleck's Bruce Wayne and Eisenberg's Lex Luthor were meant to be faux commercials announcing Turkish Airlines' opening service to Gotham and Metropolis. And if you guys haven't seen one of these Turkish Airlines ads before, believe me, they definitely nailed it as far as making it look legit. But whether you wanted more from a BVS Super Bowl spot or not, I think you've got to admit this is a pretty creative and subtle way to have a presence at the big game without breaking the bank themselves. And of course, if you want to check out all these trailers that I just mentioned and some more from the big game, there's a playlist that you can watch in the description below. But let me know what your favorite was in the comments section. In our second story today, a little tidbit from earlier this weekend about some alternate designs for Marvel and Netflix's Daredevil. This comes to us in the form of some concept art from artist Josh Nietzsche, who posted these two pictures on his portfolio website. The two images offer an interesting look at what might have been, with this first image, or version 1 as it says in the little white text at the bottom left hand of the image, offers a more classically comic book, fully red Daredevil suit, albeit with some black straps to make it a little more in line with the tone of the show. The second image is much closer to the final product, with a more fully black suit with some dark red paneling. And I'm honestly just curious about which one you guys prefer. While I love the look of the first one, it definitely feels more classic, I honestly kind of like the second one better, and I'm really hoping that we get to see it in action at some point during the second season or even during Defenders. And in our last story today, a little something from the CW-verse. Personally, one of the things that made the early seasons of Arrow even remotely bearable was Manu Bennett's excellent portrayal of Slade Wilson, aka Deathstroke. And while the character is currently locked up on the Argus prison on Leon U, that hasn't stopped folks from speculating about Bennett's potential future return to the show. Sadly, it doesn't look like it's going to be happening anytime soon, though. When asked about a potential return on Tumblr, showrunner Mark Guggenheim delivered a rather cryptic response. Let's take a look at his quote. "The character of Slade Wilson is currently tied up in another DC project. We've heard about embargoes affecting the CW shows in a variety of ways, probably the most notorious being Amanda Waller and Deadshot being killed off pretty soon after the confirmation that they would be appearing in this year's upcoming Suicide Squad film. Now, could that mean that Deathstroke is headed for the DC film universe? Well, as he's really involved in several Suicide Squad runs, it would make sense for him to show up in that movie. Could he be Scott Eastwood's as yet unknown character? Regardless, let me know where you want to see Deathstroke show up in the comments section below. So that wraps it up for another HNN. Welcome back to this week. I will actually be on the road for the rest of the week, so expect another change of scenery before we return back here But don't forget to smash that like and subscribe for more news videos every weekday afternoon. Signing off, this is CJ, and I'll see you tomorrow.